Hey guys, welcome on. Welcome everybody. I'm going to record this just in case. Keep this recording. All right, people, how are you doing? Money Mike's back here, or the Wealth Group Academy founder, whichever one you know me as. So I'm going to do some FX analysis for the afternoon. Now, it has been a slow week, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run you through all the trades that we've had so far. So I'll start off with Euro USD. Okay. I'm going to pull up my charts here. So Euro USD, I'm expecting a long. We had a reversal signature. Now the price has taken off. Okay, and I'm expecting a long. Now this isn't a long-term long, but from just looking at the market structure here, pull this up. We've had our swing of A right here, and we've had a swing to the short of B now, where the price had this reversal signature is within an area of monthly demand. So because we have a monthly demand zone here, or monthly area of demand, that is a strong pool of liquidity to cause some buying. So what I'm expecting really from the price is about 160 pips of a move. Now it's been quite slow this week, not much has happened. The price is moving, not as I would have wanted, but it is still moving here. We have the price taking off really from these lows here, okay, which are close to equal, but nonetheless, the price is moving now. It's taken off for now, and I'll give you, I was looking for the price to push a bit deeper here, but we didn't get that. Instead, we've had the price make this first low, then the kind of a lower down low of about 1 pip, and now it's on its way up. All right, now USD CHF here. I've been holding this trade for more than a day now. I guess it was about a day. So remember, guys, what we're looking at here. Now I have these lines here, ignore that. I'm going to go through the macro analysis just to show you where the price is going from. So what I'm looking at right here, start off with this here, just to give you a clue of where I'm looking at. All right, so with USD CHF, now it was a really nice long that the price did from here. The only thing is that this long reversal here, movement, I believe was another return. Now, I know that USD CHF is going to go long, but there's just a few things on the short side that need to be cleared up with the price before it moves forward. Now, at the moment here, so if I start from the daily here, we've had a reversal signature here for the previous month. So the month of July gave us a reversal signature for this bullish movement that came from June. You had a strong short, and now the price has pulled back to the same area. Now, the first time the price went short here on the daily here, the reason why I'm so poised on this trade, and I'll be loading up with more entries for sure, is if you notice, guys, when the price went short here, at this pink line right here, the return did not return to the supply zone here. So this supply zone is a special type. The price didn't return into here and then started to go short. So what I did expect to see was the price to return here. Now, how the long played out was a bit too quick for me to catch it, but the price gave us a very beautiful long with a reversal signature in here 2 days ago. So I gave this out on the live, and I gave this to the students in written form. And you can see here that now we have the short occurring. And what I am expecting, very simply, is for the price to hit our targets here, which would be back around this area here. Now, because of the force of price, I do think that we're going to see a short-term bearish US dollar for a few days. And then from that, the price is going to give us another long going forward. So my targets for this trade are still here. I mean, if I drag the take profit, I can already. I'm looking to get about potentially about 3 trades on here also. But this trade, I do believe in it, and I know I do expect the price to do exactly this. Is in the perfect area for selling, is filled out market inefficiency on the upside. So I'm expecting the price to push down on the downside. Now, Euro USD would have, my aim was to take these two because Euro USD and USD CHF have a beautiful pair correlation, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. But I am happy to just load up with more entries. Now, I missed my first entry that I wanted to take. My first entry that I was going for, if I can grab it for you all, was right here. I wanted to take another entry from this point here, or the second option is to take it from one of these points, like for example here. This was my second option. Reason being is because this is a very strong area of demand that was holding the price for quite a while. So seeing a break beneath that will give a very good clear sign that the price is moving into stronger areas of supply and stronger levels of supply. So if you didn't catch this trade, this is what I'm looking for next for a second entry. Now I wanted to do this live so you guys could see what I've done. Now you can see that the price looked a bit strange. Okay, but now it's starting to sell off. It looks quite good. Now my stop loss is going to go to even for now. Okay. Now it has been a quiet week, or there has been movement. I mean, it's just been a quiet week on the pairs that I'm looking for. And me as a trader, for me to have success, I like to stick to the same pairs that I'm already observing. If they have very good potential movements, I don't see the point of trying to focus on every other thing. I know as day traders, we're trying to make money every day, but sometimes the thought of trying to look at, 7 or 8 different pairs, for the sake of my students, I look at multiple different asset classes. But in reality, guys, I prefer to just stick to what I have. Now, the trade plays that I had, the other option that I wanted to take, or the main entry I wanted to go for was this one here. Sadly, the price happened. It happened was, I guess, either I was asleep or I just wasn't by the charts. Now, I wasn't asleep at 9 o'clock, but I just don't know why I didn't see this. This was going to be my second entry, but even then, I'm just trying to give enough space for the price to breathe. I have my first entry here, which I'm going for. In my second major entry, using the same time frame that really I did the analysis from to a good degree. These are my 2 entries. So after the second break here, I'll be looking for another trade. And I think those 3 trades will be good enough for me to see some really good gains. Now, with the profit made from these 3 trades, it should give about, on this very tiny account, will give about 800% profit. This is what I'm going for. So there is a lot of downside to go, providing the price does what we want. Right now, we are safe because the price is basically at break even. Okay. I'll be observing to see what the price does. And every time, something like this happens, we know that the market has a habit of trying to reverse on you. So what I may just do is I'm going to set an alarm somewhere around about here. So if the price starts to reverse a little bit too much, I want to be able to observe it. I mean, in reality, I didn't even want to really, you don't have to put your stop loss to even. I've advised it just for now. There isn't any major news. We'll be looking at the news in a moment. Let's see if there's any news that might affect our direction. But for now, it seems like we're all good to go. All right. So the other trade now, not Ripple, this is for crypto. So the other trade that I was looking at was, I'll pull this here for you, CAD CHF. So CAD CHF is already doing what we need it to do, which is good. All right. So CAD CHF was, excuse me, the other alternative trade. All right. And the targets for CAD CHF are quite far down. The first target already is all the way back down here again. Now, why did I want to take CAD CHF? Well, CAD CHF, okay, from the H4 structure here is what I used. We have a H4 demand zone that the price didn't return to on the way back up here. And we had a massive drop. So again, we've seen some large inefficiency in the price here. Now, the key is that it did return to the larger H4 area here, but the smaller one, the price did not return to, which is what I was looking for. And so into this week here, we've had that movement. Okay, the price has made a very clear movement into this area. And now we're seeing a very good short coming from here. Now, I think that CAD CHF has very good downside potential. And I'm expecting CAD CHF to get all the way back down to another 200 pips. Now, I love the way the trade looks. I think it's so beautiful. It's done everything that you'd want in it. Now, I'm hoping for the price to return. Now, we have had the hourly close here. So 11, we had the hourly close. Now, in this hour where we are at 12 o'clock, we're seeing a very strong reaction, okay, which is set to continue. Now, I am hoping for the pullback. On the pullback right here, guys, I'll be looking to take my own entry. And from this entry, I'll be looking to go for a short. So, put this here. So initially, I was going to take the short from CAD CHF here, but there was a set of price action points here that let me know that the prices were going to spike up one more time, which it did, which is cool. So all I'm really looking for now is just for CAD CHF to give us this return. So whether it's going to give it this return in this H1 candle or whatever, but I'll just set an alarm right here. Now, usually I don't take, I usually try to stick to one pair and just maximize on that. But I really want to be in CAD CHF because I do like the price action that is displaying a lot. I think it's a very beautiful pair. It's very technically beautiful. And there's a lot of pips to be made on here. Now, for those of you who may have missed, the other trade now, on the 15-minute, there's a good clarification of what's going on here. The demand zone of the new day, the price is broken beneath it. This is why the reaction is so strong. So on the 50-minute here, all we really need is just a return back into this area. So any return here, I mean, you could literally just get an entry right here, and stop losses could go 3 pips above. But because of the spread, I would put about 5 pips or 6 pips above. But still, we can see that we're having this strong short action right now. And I did say that, in the US session, that we're most likely going to get something of that sort. And as you can see, the price is moving quite strongly that way. Okay. So these trades, I've given these out for free, guys. So if you didn't capture anything from it, try your best to capture the next one. Okay. This is a very simple but beautiful trade from a technical standpoint. And I'm expecting to see more of these good trades. So CAD CHF and USD CHF are for the win right now, and they're looking quite good. All right. I think what I'm going to do, the risk is not so high on this trade. So I'm going to keep my stop loss away from break even just for a moment. I might put it back, but I think what I will do is that once I see the break beneath this area here, now because I have so many alerts, I'm going to change the sound of my alert on here. So I'm going to quickly change this. I'm going to go for another sound that I use, which is alert number 2. Let's test it. Yeah. So that specific sound will let me know the price is broken beneath here. And then after we can go. But for now, I want to put my stop loss exactly where it was before. And I'm going to give the price a chance to rally down. And we'll see from there what happens. But for now, I'm quite happy with what I've got. I waited quite a while patiently for these trades. Okay, if CAD CHF doesn't come back, I'm already in USD CHF. And my aim is to really load up on there. It would have been nice to get a nice CAD CHF trade too, but they're both good. Both of them are really good. Now, the other trade that I'm looking for is gold here. So what I'm going to do, this gold looks crazy. So let's do this. So gold, yeah, here we go. So for gold, I have a pending order here. As I said, I believe the price is trying to find the momentum for another short. Okay. Now, what gold is doing, I can't base it on just what the US dollar is doing completely, because if we go to gold and then if I pull up the chart of silver on the same H4, you guys can see that from where the price dropped or where the price crashed to, silver didn't really have as much of a recovery from that massive drop. So I'll drag this here. I'll put this here. As we see with gold, gold looks completely different from silver. There is some features where the price is pulling back, but in reality, silver and gold look completely different. And this is because what's driving the driving factors for the price action on gold is not really just, the US dollar. It's a lot more than that. Now I've set a tiny pending order here, and I'm expecting the price really, if I drag this along here, and then I'll go to 5 minutes. The 5 minute, I'm expecting the price to fill this gap and find momentum and go short again. All right. Now, the reason I'm basing my area around about here is because there is a large range of where the price could go to. There is this area here, which is what I'm working with at the moment. Okay, right here. And I believe the price is pulling back to where it started from, and I do think it's going to trigger quite a strong short. Okay, I don't think the shorting on gold is done by any means or by any measure. The highest point that I had, which is a second alternative, is possibly this demand zone a little bit higher right here. That price may pull up is somewhere within that area. But if you go down to the 30 and 50 minute, the reason why that was one of my theories. The reason why I kind of changed my mind is because there isn't any lower time frame order block here for supply that will support the price to sell. So for me, that zone wouldn't work out. Now, how I came to my conclusion with gold to be around this area here also is, I'm going to put this right here for you. On the weekly here, all right, the weekly area that I'm looking at, it starts from here. So from this weekly area I'm looking at, I'm expecting a reaction around this price point. So this is why I'm looking for the short at the moment. Now, this big spike here it still hasn't taken these two lows here. Neither has it taken these two lows. As I said to you, I do think that gold is about to have one crazy move. Now, I'm hoping that the US dollar doesn't reverse on us. I mean, USD CHF is technically sound for a short anyway. You know, right now the price has just entered into supply here on the H1. My only fear is I hope it's not going to fill the gap, or what I'm going to have to do, even though my pending is where it is, I'm going to try to be smart with this. If I see that gold is starts to sell off a bit too strongly, like for example, from where it is on the 5-minute here, let's go for here, where it is on the 5-minute, if it does start to break beneath a little bit too much, then what I might do is just have like what I call a complementary sell. So a complementary sell, all that means is when I take a trade that has a very, very tiny stop loss. And the reason I do that is just so that I can find out what's going on. Now, for me, the Swiss franc itself is having its own issues of, you know, not in a bad way, but I mean, as in good issues, because the Swiss franc is gaining strength right now. So across all of the pairs, even though from a technical standpoint, a lot of these pairs are looking the same, CAD CHF, USD CHF, they seem to be wanting to go the same way. I'm hoping that that Swiss franc strength will carry through and we don't really see US dollar kind of price action for a moment, you know, because if it is, then if USD CHF is going short, then really gold is going to be going long. Okay, but I can see from a technical standpoint, however, that gold has one more short on it to go. Now I put my pending orders a little bit higher, and the reason I did is because, again, if we go across to where we are here, there's a little bit of a gap here. Now, I think I might actually have to compare this with another chart to double check that this is not just the price feed. Because if it's just the price feed, then there might be a danger that I might have missed the entry. So it's very easy. IC Markets is probably one of the largest and best brokers in the world that has probably one of the largest amounts of trading data for a retail company. So if I follow through them, I'm going to open up IC Markets whilst I'm speaking. And we're going to have a look on there to just double check to see what exactly is going on. Because possibly with IC Markets, there isn't any gap, or maybe the price may look even slightly different. Who knows? But gold is my second major trade. I'm looking to swing it, and we'll see how that plays out. Okay. So I'm keeping myself, you know, quite heavily risk managed and keeping myself. Now, this is the H4 analysis for it, but you would have to zoom out to see this, but I haven't got time to go through all of that. All right, now pound USD update. Let's bring this over here. I'm going to separate my cryptos out and put the crypto on the left and Forex on the right. There we go. All right, so pound USD, we're still looking for the descent on price, as I said, back down to these areas. Okay, I'm expecting that to happen. All right, at the moment, there's been a bit of a struggle really for this week. Pound USD is really just gone short, then long, and now it's made kind of an ABCD movement. We do have a close beneath the C point, and the length of C to D here is roughly around the same as A to B. So this is a legitimate trend. But I guess the price, if it's going to trend lower in this way, then we'll see. I don't know. At the moment, the price is showing, it looks like it has reversal signatures to be going long. And as I said to you guys, with pound USD, I do expect there to be some sort of long. But you know what? I knew that this week wouldn't be the most craziest week for price action because we don't have, we don't have much fundamental news. So I thought, we wouldn't really see that much kind of movement and growth there. But nonetheless, anyway, it looks quite good at the moment for what we could, it looks quite good for a long or a short, but I would rather just stay away from it because it's not being clear. So let me go to NZDJPY. So with NZDJPY, okay, I'm going to have to use the H4. So on the H4, from starting from here where we were, I can see that we have a bearish structure forming here. We have the A to B movement here. Now I'm expecting a C back into this area of supply here. Okay, and then this C formation here. All right, back to around the 86 level will give us a short. Now, the moment it looks like the price is retracing, it's probably most likely going to dip back into this demand zone area here. So in the smaller structure, if we go by this just this week instead of the several weeks, we've just had an A to B swing here, and it looks like we're having this C retracement. So I'm looking for NZD Japanese yen for a long. Now, how that long could potentially play out, there are so many different areas it can happen from, but I am looking for NZD JPY to give us something. Now, I've identified a very good 5-minute zone we can use, and the only way I will take a long on this before the short happens is if the price breaks above this area. As you can see quite clearly, although it's just a 5-minute, this 5-minute zone has held the price from yesterday afternoon all the way into the Asia session, into this early afternoon here. So for me, an alarm right here would make much sense to me. All I'm really looking for to take advantage of the long before the short would be from here. Now, in terms of direction and or targets, if I was directing targets, that my entry for the sell would be my target for the close. Now, from where it is, where I've set my area, is exactly 90 pips. Now, a stop loss, now I'm going to use the 5-minute here again. A stop loss of anything beneath this zone. Now, my ideal stop loss will be about 5 pips here. So 90 pips for 5 pips stop loss for 90 pips. We're looking at 1 to 18 risk to reward. So these are the kind of trades that I like to take. They're very simplistic to take. They seem advanced, okay, but they're very simple. And I'm expecting to see that happen. So I'm looking for NZD, Japanese yen to give us that. For now, I'll allow the price to just let it do its natural retracement. But I do think that this ABCD retracement is going to provide us this last swing here. So if we can get in lower and there's something that gives us a clear signature for lower, I would. But because of how the price has been, I think I'd rather just take the risk and miss out on a few pips on the downside and see this and just wait for this very clean and obvious break in price. This clean, obvious signature will be a lot easier to manage, for me, than to try to, force the trade. I don't want to force anything. So really, these are my trades for the week, guys. Pound USD, I've got my eyes on. Let's put XRP and the rest over here. Okay, USD CAD again hasn't really given much joy, but what it did do, which is cool, is that it did do the reversal from the previous week. It just didn't pull back down here. So I'm just going to give the price time. I do think we do have a lot of USD news next week and a lot of high impact news. So I do expect some crazy movements. I think I might swing USD CHF over the weekend, depending on where it is actually. If the USD CHF is too close to my entry, getting towards the end of this session or the end of Friday, then I will definitely be getting out. All right. So what I'm going to do quickly, people, is I'm going to open up gold on IC markets, and I just want to make a quick comparison just to see where the gap is. So before I do that and I switch over, let's just quickly look back at gold here and let's just see on the 5-minute where we are. So on the 5-minute with gold, all right. My whole inspiration for doing what I was doing here is to, where we go. All right, so from here, it was a bit hard to see, but okay. But if I put a little bit of a range right here, there's a gap on gold between these 2 points right here. Now, I want to make sure that I don't know if this gap is price feed based or whether it's an actual gap from gold. This is what I want to find out. So 1762 to 1763 is where I'm really looking at. So saying that, let's look at IC markets. I'm going to pull up gold on this chart here too in preparation. All right. So where is IC markets? Here we go. All right. So I'm going to put up IC markets here so that we can see exactly what's happening on that chart. All right. So I'm on IC markets now, guys. And so what we're looking for is between this range. Now, of course, on the price feed here, things will be slightly different between the two brokers. Most brokers have a slightly different gold reading, but this is the range that we're in on the H1. So we're going to go and zoom down onto the 15-minute first, and let's see. All right, then I'm going to go over to the 5-minute here, and I'm going to pull this up here. So on the 5-minute, nothing yet. And on the 1 minute, okay, I need to go back a little bit more. Let's go here. There we go. All right, so on the 1 minute, there isn't any gap here. IC markets hasn't got any gap. Okay. Now, I usually would use a third opinion. Okay. What I will be doing possibly is using a third opinion. For me, I probably will take the entry on gold for now then instead of waiting just in case, because maybe that gap right there is just probably because my broker couldn't capture the price because it happened too quickly. That can be one reason. So instead of me trying to fight and end up with a bad entry on gold, I'm just going to do one more check. I'll probably check on FXCM or something later on. Okay, but there's no rush. But yeah, just double check. But so far, IC market says there's no gap. Hugo's way says there is a gap. Okay, so let's see how that all turns out. Again, gold is still rising anyway. We have our trades that we're in so far. Let's have a quick look. So USD CHF is really flying down now. Let's see CAD CHF. CAD CHF is following suit, selling off quite quickly here. Possibly might not even come back, but hey, it's a good trade nonetheless. Now I saw it in the night around about here, but just, you know what? I know it's crazy, but I like to respect my rules. And one of the biggest rules that I have when it comes to trading is that I never like to take, I don't care what's happening. I know it's crazy because it actually worked out well and I thought it would, but still, very rarely, but my rules are not to trade a non-Asian pair in the Asia session. So for me in the UK, Asia session starts at 10 p.m. GMT and it lasts until about 7 in the morning until the UK session really opens up. So for me, CAD CHF is outside of, is no part of the pair is is an Asian pair. So for the sake of, you know, not trying to be silly and being wise and from learning from experience, I wouldn't take it in the even if I miss out on the first 10 pips, I'd rather just stick to discipline, guys, or 9 pips or whatever it is. It's not really that many pips. And just rather just take it in the session that would be, or the sessions that would be most liquid. So either the European session in the morning or the Canadian session from 12. So this is really where my mind is at. Okay, guys. I'm still going to be monitoring gold to see what's happening with it. You know, I might take, as I said, I might take a complimentary trade on gold. So a very small 0.01 or something like that, possibly just to see what's going on, see how it works out. If you see a trade on my account, then you know that I took it. But we'll be watching to see what the market does. But that's really it, guys. That's the clarification for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed that, guys, and I'll see you on the next live next week. Have a great weekend, everybody, and take care.